Your success will only come from the time you put into developing skills and experiences, and you should look at that time as a badge of honor, not a burden. Your unique combination is what makes it worth me paying you to produce my songs. So for about 5 years now, I've been making these business videos here on YouTube for freelance music producers, and occasionally I will get a comment that just really strikes me. And I got one of those comments recently in the comment section. It said, "Why is there no result no matter how hard I try?" And there was just something about the brevity of this statement that instantly made me feel the level of frustration this producer was probably feeling that compelled them to make that comment. And I get it. Just like many of you, they've probably watched every producer business video that's on YouTube. They're out trying things. It feels like nothing is working for them. And I did look to see if this producer is actually active and talented, and they are. So I just wanted to make this video to explain why it feels like you aren't getting results in your music production business despite working on it every day, and just share what I've learned from my experience working very hands-on with close to 500 producers at this point, from apprentice level all the way up to Grammy winners. And I hope that this will help. As humans, we want the easy route. And yes, you could be a hard worker and still want the easy route at the same time. Just tell me what to do, I do it, I get the result, plug and play. I'll see a lot of producers that are definitely working hard, but they are working hard at mimicking the system or exact pathway of some other producer because it makes us feel like at least we have an answer to our problem or something to follow. So I get that. And you can absolutely learn important things from doing that, but I can assure you with no doubt that none of the music producers that I consult truly became successful that way. And I think deep down, you probably already know that. Think one layer deeper about this. The producer that is telling you or selling you their system, which I'm not against, of course, but how did they come up with that system or approach that worked for them? What did they have to do in order to make all of that come together in the first place? That is actually what you want to mimic and learn from. Most of the time, you're only going to see the tip of the iceberg because it's hard for someone to fit their entire story into a course or one YouTube video or a phone call. But in this video, I want to show you the rest of the iceberg so that you can see it and so that I can prove the point that I'm trying to make to you. Because I have this theory, and this theory is called the brick theory. And that theory is this: the most reliable way, in my opinion, to build a career as a music producer is brick by brick, one brick at a time. Mentorship teaches you how to build with bricks, and having a support network makes you a better builder. Think of each brick as a new skill or experience, and as you stack more bricks, two things will happen. Number one, so every producer starts their career with foggy glasses. That's how I like to look at this. You would not want to drive a car while wearing these glasses. And even though I could tell you exactly how to drive the car, and you could watch a YouTube video and they'll choose a road for you to drive your car on, you're still going to crash because you can't see anything yet. You don't need someone else's car to solve the problem. You don't even need to be on the same road they're driving on. What you really need, what you want to aim for, is to have their glasses, because over time, as you acquire more bricks, the glasses you're wearing become easier to see through, which gives you the ability to choose your own road and drive it safely. The second thing that happens is that you naturally become more valuable in the market. Not you as a person, you're always valuable, of course, but more so just what you bring to the table. It's not that people don't want to pay producers anymore. That's not true. It's just that most producers aren't worth paying yet. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but their wall of bricks is too short when compared to the producers that I work with who make great money doing this. There is a night and day difference when it comes to their development. So you may be confused as to why are people not paying me? Why does no one want to hire me? Why am I not getting any work? I can see usually in 3 seconds why that's the case, because I'm comparing it to a producer that's more developed. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that most of you are just seeing the tip of the iceberg, and that's what you're trying to mimic without seeing the rest of the iceberg. So I'm going to quickly take you through my journey of acquiring and stacking bricks so that you can see an example of the entire iceberg. I think it will put a lot of this in perspective. And this is just my personal example. You don't need to acquire the same skills at the exact same age, and it may not take you the exact same amount of time. The point here is just to show you that there is always more than what you're seeing on the surface. So for me, from like 6 to 12 years old, was all about developing a foundation for musicality, learning guitar, piano, drums, a little music theory. I played in school band as well in middle school. Now, I'm 100% aware that starting this young was a privilege, and I don't take that for granted. However, if you didn't start that early, then that's okay. At around 13 was when I started dabbling in production and recording. I would record my own band and projects. When I was 14, I started recording my friends' bands and projects. I got my first paid gig around that time. All of this helped me gain some experience understanding how to help other people achieve their vision and just making music with people in general. From 14 to like 20 years old, I did a ton. I got a lot of experience on the artist side, writing songs, booking shows, selling merchandise, building a fan base, etc. Just developing an understanding for that side of the fence. When I turned 18, I started learning business skills like sales and marketing and communication and all of that stuff just from various day jobs that I had. And at the same time, I was still running my home studio and getting better at my craft. I also went to rehab when I was 18, which isn't 100% relevant to this story, but I technically learned very important skills there. The main one being how to operate in a world that I came to find out doesn't actually revolve around me, which is unfortunate. Also, when I was 21, I went through a small music production program and learned how to network. At 22, I used that skill to land my first job at a recording studio under a mentor and worked there intensely pretty much every day for about 2 years, gaining a ton of experience working with artists, recording, mixing, running sessions, operating a studio, all that stuff. And then, finally, at 24, that was when I was able to move to LA and make the leap to go full-time, which I did and was able to do in only a few months. And that is the part that everybody wants to replicate. Well, how do I go full-time in a few months? Without the experience of the 10 previous years and probably 200 plus projects I had already worked on before I got to LA. But we're not done yet. At that point, I've just secured a spot on the playing field. I haven't won the game. And unfortunately, I secured a spot on the losing team, sort of. Because when I got to LA, some of the music skills that I had developed were a bit out of style by that point. So at 24, I had to spend even more time developing my skills around programming, track production, songwriting, and delve into learning some genres that I just didn't have as much experience with so that I could adapt. Now from 24 to 26, I just focused on learning how to be a good freelancer, the basics, how to keep the bills paid as a producer, and I eventually hired out a team to get some help. So then I had to learn how to manage other people. 26 to 30 years old was another influential stretch. I was running an entire music production team and trying not to be stupid with the money we were making, which didn't work. That skill came later. I was learning how to run a sample pack business, learning how to build a YouTube channel with Make Pop Music, interacting with sync agents and labels, trying to learn that world, and so on and so on. And around 30, I pivoted into primarily doing producer development, which is what I do today, because that is what the unique combination of all of those skills and experiences over 20 years led me to do. But there is no way that I could be good at the job I had when I was 24, or especially the job I have today, in just like 12 months starting from scratch. It would be impossible. You feel frustrated because what you're trying to do is impossible in the amount of time that you're trying to do it in, especially with little guidance or scattered advice from the internet. You're creating an emotional problem for yourself that doesn't even need to exist in the first place, which now makes a difficult journey even more of a difficult journey. I wasn't even thinking about the job I have today when I was 12 months in, or even years into this journey. Your success will only come from the time you put into developing skills and experiences, and you should look at that time as a badge of honor, not a burden. Your unique combination is what makes it worth me paying you to produce my songs, even with competition AI, all that stuff. With each year, your brick wall becomes taller and a layer of fog is removed from your glasses, which allows you to see a little more clearly. I can teach someone how to acquire bricks. I can show them how to build with bricks and advise them on what order to lay the bricks. And I can make them a better builder by putting them around better builders. And that can speed up the process and eliminate some of the confusion. But neither I nor anyone else has anything that will replace you doing this brick by brick. So the next time you're thinking about throwing in the towel, just rewatch this video and then watch this next one that I'm going to recommend to you. As well as, if I'm being honest, just watch all the Dark Label videos because each one of them has a prize inside. That's my attempt at being Mr. Beast. Much love. Until next time.